Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion. Plays a Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Plus, we got a streak of 1. We're hoping for a front half random. Oh, this is gonna be a back half random. That's okay. Oh, you're too good to me. Shake it up, shake it up. Shake it up, shake 'em. Let me hydrate here. This is good stuff. Alrighty. I will take a free win. Here's my rule. Well, let's not get too cocky. That's a bad look. Here's my thinking, okay? As long as, and it's a very simple mathematical expression, as long as the number of Azazel randoms is lower than the number of Keeper randoms, I will never be guilty or feel guilty about playing as Azazel. I've come to accept as well that I think, you know, who cares, like, about the character at this point in time and their relative balance? You know, it's like arguing over, you know, who's the best New York Ranger. It's not worth the effort. No offense to Rangers fans, I'm just saying, you know. It's, you know, oh, I think it's Brian Leach. Oh, I think it's, Mark Messier, you know, it's just a tired old argument. Wouldn't you rather argue about whether or not that bagel that's cut in half laterally is a sandwich or not? Let's head down to the next floor. But either way, I actually think it might be easier to be like Isaac than to be Azazel, to be honest. Azazel's way easier early, that's for sure. But you do suffer quite a lot, I think, from a lack of range against later, harder bosses. You got plenty of time to get there, but, you know, you might not. Oftentimes you don't, actually. How's that for a dodge? You can tell Aggie's got his groove back based on that dodge. Totally unnecessary, and yet simultaneously pretty useful, or pretty impressive, I should say. This room, I think, is a waste of everybody's time, to be honest. I respect you too much to hit all the buttons in there. Anyway, I'm feeling good, you know. I'm feeling... I mean, I've been feeling this way in Isaac for a little while, to be honest. I don't feel like we've had a truly terrible performance. Like the Apollyon run we lost, I really feel like maybe I got a little greedy by trying to use Void on every, you know, 6 out of 10 item or worse. But you don't, like, expect to get such horrible statistical, you know, changes over the course of any given run. That's kind of what's throwing me for a loop lately. Just one man's opinion is all I'm trying to say there. Either way, you know, I'll tell you, this is a run where right now it does not necessarily appear like we're gonna spend that much time talking about Isaac. Got him. That was worth it just to take a bad enemy out of the room, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm really hoping, like, we got 1 HP. It's a great opportunity for a game-changing deal with the devil. I know it's gonna sound like a broken record made of complaints. But, let's leave for now. Our deals with the devil have been just absolutely god-awful lately. It used to be, we would go to deals with the angel, we would have to force ourselves to do a deal with the angel, because it would require us to not take deals with the devil, which are obviously usually quite fantastic. Not necessarily going to be everybody's first choice there, but I don't think Eye of Belial does much for us. I'd rather have the Guppy chance. Now we're taking deals with the angel, like, organically, because our deals with the devil are like, hey, do you want to pay HP for Ghost Baby and Sister Maggie? And you're like, oh, not really. And they're like, okay, see you in 6 floors when we give you another offer. Anyway, I'm not trying to be bitter. I'm not trying to be bitter. There's no bitterness in my heart for Isaac, to be honest. I have been playing other roguelites, you know, in my leisure time more than Isaac, for sure. I mean, Dicey Dungeon is just a lot of fun. If you haven't picked that up, consider that game to have the Northernlion roguelite seal of approval. It joins the Hall of Roguelite that contains, you know, honestly less than a dozen games. You got your Isaac, your FTL, your Slay the Spire, your Into the Breach, your Spelunky, of course. You know, the only one that might ruffle a few feathers is still... I love Wizard of Legend. I think that game is highly underrated. Now, will I return to actually play the DLC that's come out? I'm honestly unsure. Just because I think it had an audience, but not everybody was necessarily in love with watching that game. Plus, I'm just like, I'm busy, dude. Like, I got Isaac, I got Dicey Dungeons, I got Super Mario Maker, I got we might get Beelzebub on this one. This is wild. I got Streets of Rogue. And then I got, you know, all the stream games as well. You know, it's a busy time. It's not a good time to add more stuff on YouTube, to be honest. And then people are like, when is he going to go back and play XCOM? And I'm like, dude, I wanna, but that's a big time investment. I'm kind of hoping there'll be like a, I'm trying to think. XCOM Enemy Unknown came out in 2012. In what I still think of as like one of the best weeks for video game releases, at least AAA releases. It was like the week I moved to Vancouver. On the same Tuesday, XCOM Enemy Unknown and Dishonored both came out. How's that for a freaking Tuesday? I had to choose, and this, you know, it was still kind of in the early days of the channel. I had to make a choice. I was like, what am I going to play? Why not? Now we can get close to exploding enemies. What am I going to play on the channel? I can only play one because I'm moving across the freaking country this week. Am I going to play Dishonored or am I going to play XCOM Enemy Unknown? I chose to play XCOM Enemy Unknown. And, you know, I think it was a good decision, even though that game didn't, like, you know... It didn't play as much of a role in my channel's rise as something like Isaac did, but, you know, it's become kind of an enduring series that's come back again and again and again. Interesting to think how things might be different if I had chosen to play Dishonored instead, you know? All these sorts of decisions you don't, you know, they don't feel necessarily like they have that much gravitas in the moment, but you never know, you know? You never know. We only have 1 HP, as evidenced by our ability to enter this room. Oh my god. Is it our long guppy drought might be over? Anyway, I'm kind of hoping, you know, that was 2012. I think XCOM 2 came out in like 2016. You get where I'm going with this. You know, it's not necessarily like, you know, there's a pattern like XCOM games. It's like, you know, Halley's Comet. Like every 4 years, there's always going to be a new XCOM. But, you never know. We might be coming close to that time again. I hope. That's the only reason I'm holding off on new XCOM stuff, apart from also having, like, a lack of time. Is, you know, I think in XCOM 2 we did everything there is to do except Long War. I've come to accept that Long War is honestly just a little bit too hardcore for me. It's not that fun. I'm like a classic... difficulty sort of guy at this point. I don't the strategy massacre, I already lived that when I played, you know, competitive chess. And you're beating 50-year-old dudes with full-time jobs and then losing to 8-year-olds who have, like, you know, Bruce Pandolfini as their private coach. I can't go down that road again. But anyway, honestly, I mean, I've said this before, but I never take for granted that we're gonna get another XCOM if we are. Because, like, just the fact that Enemy Unknown exists, you have to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who was born in the year 1988. I think. You know? Like, Enemy, or XCOM UFO Defense was part of a bygone era. You know? It was a PC strategy game. And then around, like, I don't know, the release of maybe Halo, I really started to think that... I mean, there were articles written, like, for half a decade that were like, PC gaming is totally dead. There's, like, very little coming out. Consoles were the new hotness. You know, they were what everybody was talking about. PC gaming has made a huge return, obviously. And, I mean, it's been, like, a decade since it started. But on top of No thank you. On top of that, yeah, we'll just head down. That's kind of opened the door, along with, you know, I mean, along with the rise of indie games, which has also allowed, you know, more retro, possibly inspired games to thrive, I think. That's opened the door for kind of like strategy and tactics games to make a widespread return. Obviously stuff like, you know, Fire Emblem and Disgaea still existed, but if you had told me, like, hey, there's gonna be a AAA, you know, turn-based strategy game released in if you said that in 2011, I would have been like, nah, dude, it's gonna be a third-person cover-based shooter. That was the way it seemed like things were going. So I'm stoked that, you know, Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2 exist. And if you haven't played XCOM 2 with War of the Chosen enabled, that's like, I'm jealous that you have the opportunity still to experience that for the first time. That was like maybe my favorite expansion in video game history. And yes, I played Diablo 2 Lord of Darkness to kill Bale. Kill Bale, you know? My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Okay, I think this is a little hushy situation. Absolutely. That's not Little Hushy, that's Shade, right? No, that's Little Hushy. Wonderful opportunity to use Little Hushy appropriately. Thank you. Okay, we definitely want Incubus. Mom's Knife kind of ruins Azazel, I think. And we have Homing Brimstone on Azazel, or on Incubus, which is really funny. Can't you tell by my tone of voice? It's funny because it doesn't really home at all. You know, it's too short to home. Anyway. That's where I'm sitting on that one. Anyway, but regardless, I'm always wary about talking about what kind of stuff we're gonna play in the future on the stream and on YouTube, because it makes it seem like I'm starved for choice. The only thing we're starved for choice on is Team Unity. We're actually doing a better job of branching out of like the idea that everything we play has to be either like a roguelite or strictly cooperative. Like, I think we played Project Winter on Tuesday, and you know, Project Winter it's always a fun game, even though maybe I got a little salty because I was perpetually gaslighted, even if that is one of the game mechanics. Throws your brain for a loop on occasion. But I think that the enduring legacy there, even if we only end up playing that every now and then, because it requires 8 people, which is just way too many to be consistently redoable. The enduring legacy there is like, now I'm thinking, there's a lot of other, or at least a few other, like asymmetrical multiplayer games that I think could work for Team Unity. Like, it doesn't always have to be Unity working towards a common goal of winning a winner-winner chicken dinner. You know, it could be, you know, maybe we alternate roles. One person on Unity is a killer and 3 people on Unity are trying to fix generators, for example. Maybe, and you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the game Dead by Daylight, but I think it could be a fit for Unity. And anyway, you get the idea. I don't need suggestions for what to put on the YouTube channel. I'm more than full. So all you can eat game buffet. Alright, we're on Depths 2 already. Absolutely nothing wrong with this run right now. All I could really ask for is range, but to be honest, this is like the perfect no complaint run. Because we've gotten what we want in any Isaac run. We've gotten HP and then the ability to turn that HP into damage via a deal with the devil. It's like the old school processor that of the engine that makes Isaac run. Nah, that's okay. We're back to classic Isaac strats, and to be honest, it feels good, you know? This feels like the way, I mean, I get that we're Azazel, so it's not really representative, but this feels like it's the Isaac I know and love. Instead of, you know, haha, you got trash items over and over. Ha, it's a cool tier effect that doesn't affect your stats or your ability to kill enemies, but isn't the animation cool? Why not, dude? Let's do it. So, drastically decrease damage but slightly increased range and a much increased rate of fire as well. I mean, by definition, we kind of like broke even here, you know, but did we break even in a way that's better for us? It's not really the spirit of the way that expression is normally used, but I don't know. I think we're kind of like, it's worse for our flies, which sucks. So I'd say if we were making a decision like life or death, we probably wouldn't have taken Libra there, but it's not likely to be a life or death decision, so let's have some fun with it. Hopefully, 42.5% chance. We're probably not gonna do boss rush. It depends on the item. Like if there's something like soy milk in there, I guess we would go for it. Trying to think if that would affect our range super negatively. I mean, it should be an all stats up. I'm feeling the burn of a lack of damage here. Starting to be modestly concerned. But I think I gotta remember, hey, you're fighting Blue Mom. Blue Mom is tanky. Let's not lose spirit. Nah. It would be good if we had tears, but we don't. Say pretty much the same thing there. Yeah, I mean, especially having gone through that mom fight, I actually feel a little bit more conservative about our estimated level of success right now. 80% chance of a deal with the devil. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. I've said it too many times now. It's been a good year for games. In my opinion, it's a good time for games. But I would love to see... I just love more tactics games to begin with. I'll tell you though, why would you get that close? I feel like I'm stoked that so many people are enjoying Fire Emblem. From what I've seen of Kate playing that and other people playing it on Twitter, I'm like, it's not for me. I did play Fire Emblem Awakening. And what happened, I played it almost like I played games when I was like, 12 years old. As I was dominating it, I was like, this is the greatest game of all time. Then I lost a mission in like chapter 7 or 8 or 12, I don't know, out of 700. And I felt like it was to a BS mechanic. And I said to myself, well, it happens. Let's give it another try. I gave it another try and died to the same mechanic. And I went, well, I guess I'll never play that again. I'm wary of a game that long. Because if you pass the level of frustration at some point, it's a long time to force yourself through it, even though I hear that, it's very, very well liked. Same thing happened to me in Mario and Rabbids, to be honest. I still think that game is substantially better than anybody expected, let's put it that way. I think it's a good Switch game for sure. If you own a Switch and you haven't played it, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. If you, if you like XCOM style games, I don't think it's nearly as good as the main franchise XCOM games, but I do still think it's pretty good. But when I was crushing the game, I was like, this is a lot of fun. This is a family-friendly romp that everybody can enjoy. Then I lost a mission twice in a row, and I went, you know what, I don't really care to finish it. But I think if you ever opt out of a strategy game that has minions, rabbids, in it, you've outed yourself as not as smart as you might think you are. So I'll say it. I take no pride in it. It's not that the game was too hard. It's just that once I faced any kind of resistance, it briefly removed the serotonin release that I was getting from doing very well, and I went, maybe I don't like this as much as I thought I did. Maybe I just like winning. What, you don't like winning? Alright, I gotta tell you, dude, that would have been a pretty sick opportunity to get one of our, deal with the devil chances higher. Like we had a 4 out of 5 chance of getting the deal with the devil. I'm not trying to, complain. I mean, if we're gonna talk about XCOM, a 20% roll can happen for sure, but You know what? I don't even want to fight this room. What am I doing here? Now we got a 100% chance for a deal with the devil. And that will ride. Like, we will not lose that 100% chance unless we die on this fight, which would be just a catastrophic failure. But I'll tell you, that Libra pickup is looking dumber and dumber as time goes on. Just trying to like hold the line. There you go. Good. Better, better, better. Just offer up some form of defense. Just, yeah, I'm okay with that, to be honest. We should be free. Now, we're kind of not asking for a miracle, but for some good stuff. That sure is heck not guppy, brother. I'll try it, because we're not going to be reusing our HP anyway. Like our red heart, that is. But I think we're in a very dangerous situation. No vanity here is pretty bad, too. I was looking forward to having a chance to hopefully get something out of the mirror. I also think this is where you take a brief second. Think to yourself, you know, if we can handle these rooms in a safe way, that's better than handling them in a fast way. And in some situations, the safe way is going to be little hushy, I think. Okay, that was good thinking, quick thinking. And another Spirit Heart added into the system here. Helps out a great deal. And I gotta say, like, our damage, now that we've actually gotten a couple of stat upgrades with Libra functioning simultaneously, that was really good. Our damage is actually no longer, like, pitiful. It is becoming clear to me, and probably should have been for years, but we don't play that much as Azazel. Turns out that fire rate as Azazel, not necessarily that relevant in most situations. Damage, especially if you're relying on flies for your long-range damage, pretty important. Just want to simplify this room bit by bit. Great work. Lemon Party is totally fine, dude. I have been thinking about the possibility of going to that curse room. Like, it's been so long since we become Guppy that I got a little bit gambler's fallacy going on. Those of you who don't know, gambler's fallacy is named after Dwayne Gambler. He was a professional bowler. And, you know, in order to get a perfect game in bowling, despite there being 10 frames, you have to get 12 strikes in a row. He got 11 strikes in a row, and then he said, well, because of the fact that we got 11 in a row, we're, like, guaranteed to get 12. And then he didn't. He got a 7-10 split, and because it was his 12th shot, he didn't even get a chance to go for the split, which he always, you know, regretted for the rest of his life. And he finished with a 298 instead of a 300. And a 298, they don't put your name up in the rafters for a 298. You know, not at that bowling lane. And what happened to him? Like, why is it a fallacy? Well, because he died. He died after that. It was unrelated. It was a jet skiing incident. But, you know, you get a 300, you get your banner up in the rafters, maybe a little trophy. Oh, that's pretty sick. You get a 298, you die in a jet ski accident. Life's cool. What am I talking about? Anyway, I don't even remember. Basically, I haven't become Guppy in so long that I have the real gambler's fallacy, which is the idea that, you know, because we've lost so much, we're, like, guaranteed to win. This is the one, you know? We're constantly just one good roll away from being returned to safety. I totally forgot, by the way, I can't be hit by explosions. We don't need to freak out as much against those guys. Judgment. Just toss him, dude. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Yo, 2 luck ups on this floor. Very helpful. We might need all of that gas. But I think it's embarrassing how happy I am that we might be about to make this Azazel run work. But you gotta put yourself in my shoes, you know? I really did think, I mean, it was an easy run until we decided to roll the dice on Zane, and then, you know, Zane is becoming clear to me. It's a young Isaac player's game, brother. Sometimes it's nice to be on stable ground. This Libra pickup, to be fair, I didn't just take it like, you know, it sucks and it'll be a meme. I was like, maybe it'll be good. Sometimes you have these unexpected effects with Libra. They shouldn't be, they're not unpredictable. You could predict them, but perhaps, you know, you didn't think about, oh, I have a huge range up, you know, via mini mush or something like that I didn't think about. And now all of a sudden, all of my stats are awesome. So I honestly think the best case scenario right here is that right there. You get this stuck on top of him. It's blocking shots. Wow. Screwed myself over. All I can really say in my own defense is I didn't think the bomb would actually push this, because I'm holding its position down, you know, myself, but don't want to be here. Okay, you guys have got to go, like, while I'm here. Okay, that's just unacceptable damage. We actually have to use our own tiers to do damage now. We got a good methodology. Run in there, place a bomb. It should be enough to get him to not attack multiple times. We should not have been hit twice on this fight, though. We'll just say thank you for the damage. Oh, look how close we were to, like... We were, like, a second of exposure to the elements away from him doing that every single time. So I consider us very lucky. Okay, I no longer consider us very lucky. We're immune to explosions, but it's like, this is the principle of the thing. Alright, I mean, mapping is always going to be helpful, and, I mean, the magnet isn't, so we're not even going to pick it up. We might get a Perthrow rune or something. Change your opinion on that pedestal real quickly. Not bad. Really, though, almost no item will compare in quality to just getting a Spirit Heart. Every Spirit Heart raises our chances of winning. I don't know. Enough to be noteworthy. Well, you know what? It's a nice balance. Whether we win or we lose, and trust me, I've done enough of both recently to come to terms with it. Whether we win or we lose, at least we had, you know, 2 Isaac episodes. One was anecdote-rich, very preachy, soapboxy. And one was mechanics-driven, at least after we picked up Libra. I've started to get a little bit scared by this room, honestly. It's not bad. I mean, one adversary or one, what are you? I forgot your name. The adversary's really bad, but one of these guys is no problem. 2 of them with low damage. It's just a little bit of potential danger with the intersecting dodges and the etceteras and the etceteras. Very appreciative of the extra flies. And, dude, turns out Book of Shadows. Thank God we can't be hit by bombs. Book of Shadows did some incredible work for us. You're not gonna hear me say this too much. This would be a really great time for us to replace Guppy's head with another spacebar item. I don't know, even like Mr. Mega or Mr. Boom would be fine. Because we'll get the flies from Guppy's head and then just go straight into, you know, Mr. Boom territory. We should win this one. But Libra, you're becoming a sometimes item. Which I feel like I've said that sentence like literally 10 times. So obviously I'm not doing, I'm not following my own advice if it's a sometimes item and we have to keep telling ourselves it's a sometimes item. Definitely, by the way, should have checked the second secret room. So we're on full dodge notice, and there you go. Okay, hold him right there. No bombs required yet. All this is free damage. Because of Beelzebub, we're getting a lot of flies out of this. Even if they just take care of his flies, you know, it's worth something. This is hunky-dory as far as I'm concerned. I'm very surprised we had the ability to get out of there. I think we've got to accept we're probably past the usefulness of Lil Hushy, but this is definitely, you know, in recent memory, one of the most effective times we've ever used it. And it actually paid dividends again, like, immediately after. Okay, I could not have possibly expected that to go that smoothly, but lucky us! For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!